Auditor XYZ, a construction company, purchased 20 new trucks 3 years ago, and there is no record of any of those being sold last year. Records indicate, however, that XYZ sold off all its diesel-powered trucks last year. We can thus conclude that none of the 20 trucks purchased 3 years ago were diesel-powered.
Okay. Now what?
This one was confusing to me. So I'm going to find the conclusion, which is we can conclude that none of the 20 trucks purchased 3 years ago were diesel powered. Okay. Which one of the following is an assumption required?
All right, what kind of question is this?
An assumption question.
What kind of assumption?
Necessary.
Yeah. Required, relies, or depends. Yep. So what is our goal of a necessary assumption question? So necessary assumption questions is like, it's like what's needed in order for a conclusion to have a chance.
Okay.
So do we want, are these top down or bottom up questions?
Bottom up.
Nope, sufficient questions are bottom up, but necessary is actually top down. Because we have to stay between the lines of it. It's like what's
so we can't bring in anything new for this. Okay.
It's kind of like necessary assumption questions are very similar to must be true questions.
Okay, so it has to be in the stimulus.
Like or supported by, right? Like it's like this would be true. So go ahead and start with, so if it's a top down question, is it going to be more mild or is it going to be strong?
Mild.
Excellent. Okay, so go ahead and start with A.
All of the trucks that XYZ sold last year were diesel powered. We don't know that.
Do we need all of the trucks last year to be diesel powered?
No.
But why? Okay, so this conclusion, we're saying that none of the 20 trucks purchased 3 years ago were diesel powered. Is that guaranteed from our conclusion? First, let's back up here. So we're saying that we purchased 20 new trucks 3 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's no record of any of those new trucks, right, being sold last year.
Mm-hmm.
It says that we sold off all of our diesel powder trucks last year. Therefore, none of the 20 trucks purchased 3 years ago were diesel powered. In order for this conclusion to be true, what needs to be true about these 20 trucks being bought? Or what needs to be true about these 20 trucks here?
None of the 20 trucks purchased 3 years ago were diesel powered. So they're not new.
Okay, so go ahead and read the answer choices now and let me start with E.
XYZ no longer owns any trucks that it purchased more than 3 years ago. We're not really looking for anything beyond 3 years ago.
Right, excellent.
D, none of the 20 trucks was sold before last year. So that probably makes sense. Because they're saying XYZ sold off all the diesel powered trucks last year? I don't know, I can connect the dots on this one.
All right, we'll skip D. Let's go to C.
XYZ did not purchase any new trucks since it purchased the 20 trucks 3 years ago. Okay. Maybe.
Does it have to, in order for none of the 20 trucks purchased 3 years ago were diesel powered, does it matter if they purchased any new trucks since? All we care about are the 20
No.
trucks they purchased 3 years ago, right?
Okay.
So C, we can cross off pretty easily. And then go ahead and go to B.
XYZ did not purchase any used trucks 3 years ago. That would be an assumption, yeah.
Why is that an assumption?
Because these trucks that they're talking about could have been like all the diesel trucks were the used ones that they bought 3 years ago, not new ones.
But could we have purchased a used truck 3 years ago and still these 20 new trucks that we purchased have been? We don't care about used trucks at all. We're talking about 20 new trucks here. And so here we're talking about the 20 new trucks here as well. So any used trucks, like we literally don't care about.
Okay.
I think that's literally the only reasoning for that too. Literally the only thing that makes this wrong is used.
Okay.
Okay, but why does D have to be true? Or why is D needed?
So do you see none of the 20 trucks? So none of these, none of the 20 trucks purchased 3 years ago were diesel.
What happens if we sold one of the 20 trucks before last year? What if we sold it 2 years ago? What if we sold one of these 20 trucks 2 years ago?
Then
our argument would fall apart, right? Because all we know is that we sold off all of its diesel powered trucks last year. And so if we did sell one off before last year, it could have been diesel powered. We just sold it off before we sold off all the other diesel trucks.
okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This is a very hard question. I would be
yeah, it's